Hey guys, my name is Ayer. I'm a senior on the women's golf team at Notre Dame, and I am at home right now in Texas, but I thought I would read you guys a favorite story of mine from when I was little. Hopefully it'll make things a little less boring, but it's from the giant treasury of Peter Rabbit. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a pussycat called Rabit who invited a little dog named Duchess to tea. "Come in good time, my dear Duchess," said Rabit's letter, "and we will have something so very nice. I'm baking it in a pie dish with a pink rim. You never tasted anything so good, and you shall eat it all." "I will eat muffins, my dear Duchess," wrote Rabit. "I will come very punctually, my dear Rabit," wrote Duchess, and then at the end she added, "I hope it isn't mouse." And then she thought that did not look quite polite, so she scratched it out, "Isn't mouse," and changed it to, "I hope it will be fine," and gave it to the postman. But she thought a great deal about Rabit's pie, and she read Rabit's letter over and over again. "I'm dreadfully afraid it will be mouse," said Duchess to herself. "I really couldn't eat mouse pie, and I shall have to eat it because it is a party and my pie was going to be veal and ham." A pink and white pie dish, and so was mine, just like Rabit's dishes, and they were both bought at Tabitha Twitchett's. Duchess went off into her larder and took the pie off a shelf and looked at it. Oh, what a good idea! Why shouldn't I rush along and put my pie into Rabit's oven when Rabit isn't there? Rabit, in the meantime, had received Duchess's answer, and as soon as she was sure that the little dog would come, she popped her pie into the oven. There were two ovens, one above the other. Some other knobs and handles were only ornamental and did not intend to open. Rabit put the pie into the lower oven. The door was very stiff. "The top oven bakes too quickly," said Rabit to herself. Rabit put some coal and swept up the hearth. When she went out with the can to the well for water to fill up the kettle, then she began to set the room in order, for it was the sitting room as well as the kitchen. When Rabit had laid the table, she went out down the field to the farm to fetch milk and butter. When she came back, she peeped into the bottom oven. The pie looked very comfortable. Rabit put on her shawl and her bonnet and went out with a basket to the village shop to buy a packet of tea, a pound of lump sugar, and a little pot of marmalade. And just at the same time, Duchess came out of her house at the other end of the village. Rabit met Duchess halfway down the street, also carrying a basket covered in a cloth. They only bowed to one another. They did not speak, because they were going to have a party. So proper. This is Duchess with her little basket. Rabit went on to Timothy Baker's and bought the muffins. Then she went home. There seemed to be a sort of scuffling noise in the back passage as she was coming in the front door. But there was nobody there. Duchess, in the meantime, had slipped out the back door. It was a very odd thing that Rabit's pie was not in the oven when I put mine in, and I can't find it anywhere. I have looked all over the house. I put my pie into a nice hot oven at the top. I cannot turn any other handles. I think that they were all shams," said Duchess, "but I wish I could have removed the pie made of mouse. I cannot think what she has done with it. I heard Rabit coming in and I had to run out the back door." Very punctually at 4 o'clock, Duchess started to go to the party. At 4:15 to the minute, there came a most genteel little tap-tippity. "Is Mrs. Ribston at home?" inquired Duchess in the porch. "Come in, and how do you do, my dear Duchess?" cried Rabit. "I hope I see you well." "Quite well, I thank you, and how do you do, dear Rabit?" said Duchess. "I've brought you some flowers, and what a delicious smell of pie." "Oh, what lovely flowers, and yes it is, it's mouse bacon." "I think it wants another 5 minutes," said Rabit. Just a shade longer. I will pour out the tea while we wait. Do you take sugar, my dear Duchess?" "Oh, yes, please, my dear Ribby, and may I have a lump upon my nose?" "With pleasure, my dear Duchess." Duchess sat up with the sugar on her nose and sniffed. "How good that pie smells! I do love veal and ham. I mean mouse and bacon." She dropped the sugar in confusion and had to go hunting under the tea table, so did not see which oven Ribby opened in order to get out the pie. Ribby set the pie upon the table. There was a very savory smell. Duchess came out from under the tablecloth munching sugar and sat upon the chair. "I will first cut the pie for you. I'm going to have a muffin and marmalade," said Ribby. "I think," thought Duchess to herself, "I think it would be wiser if I helped myself to the pie," though Ribby did not seem to notice anything when she was cutting it. "What very small pieces that it has cooked into. I do not remember that I had minced it up so fine. I suppose this was a quicker oven than my own." The pie dish was emptying rapidly. Duchess had 4 helps already, and she was fumbling with the spoon. "A little more bacon, my dear Duchess?" said Ribby. "Thank you, my dear Ribby. I was only feeling for the patty pan." "The patty pan, my dear Duchess?" "The patty pan that held up the pie crust," said Duchess, blushing under her black coat. "Oh, I didn't put one in, my dear Duchess," said Ribby. "I didn't think it was necessary in pies made of mouse." Duchess fumbled with the spoon. "I can't find it," she said anxiously. "There isn't a patty pan," said Ribby, looking perplexed. "Yes, indeed, my dear Ribby. Where can it have gone to?" said Duchess. Duchess looked very much alarmed and continued to scoop the inside of the pie dish. "I have only 4 patty pans, and they are all in the cupboard." Duchess set up a howl. "I shall die! I shall die! I've swallowed a patty pan! Oh, my dear Ribby, I do feel so ill!" "It is impossible, my dear Duchess. There was not a patty pan." "Yes, there was, my dear Ribby. I am sure I've swallowed it." "Let me prop you up a pillow, my dear Duchess. Where do you feel it?" "Oh, I do feel so ill all over me, my dear Ribby. Shall I run for the doctor?" "Oh, yes, yes. Fetch Dr. Maggotty, my dear Ribby. He is a pie himself. He will certainly understand." But while Ribby had been hunting for the doctor, a curious thing had happened to Duchess, who had been left by herself, sitting before the fire, sighing and groaning and feeling very unhappy. "How could I have swallowed it, such a large thing as a patty pan?" She sat down again and stared mournfully at the gate. The fire crackled and danced and something sizzled. Duchess started. She opened the door of the top oven. Out came a rich, steamy flavor of veal and ham. And there stood a fine brown pie. And through a hole in the top of the pie crust, there was a tiny glimpse of a little patty pan. Duchess drew a long breath. "Then I must have been eating mouse. No wonder I feel ill. But perhaps I should feel worse if I had really swallowed a patty pan." Duchess reflected. What a very awkward thing to have to explain to Ribby. "I think I will put my pie in the backyard and say nothing about it. When I go home, I will run around and take it away." She put it outside the back door and sat down again by the fire and shut her eyes. When Ribby arrived with the doctor, she seemed fast asleep. "I'm feeling very much better," said Duchess, waking up with a jump. "I'm truly glad to hear it. He has brought you a pill, my dear Duchess." "I think I should feel quite well if he only felt my pulse," said Duchess, backing away from the magpie, who sidled up with something in his beak. "It is only a bread pill. You had much better take it. Drink a little milk, my dear Duchess." "I'm feeling very much better, my dear Ribby," said Duchess. "Do you not think that I had better go home before it gets dark?" "Perhaps it might be wise, my dear Duchess." Ribby and Duchess said goodbye affectionately, and Duchess started home. Halfway up the lane, she stopped and looked back. Ribby had gone in and shut the door. Duchess slipped through the fence and ran around the back of Ribby's house and peeped into the yard. Upon the roof of the big pigsty, Dr. Maggotty and 3 jackdaws were eating the pie crust, and the magpie was drinking gravy out of the patty pan. Duchess ran home feeling uncommonly silly. When Ribby came out for a pailful of water to wash up the tea things, she found a pink and white pie dish lying smashed in the middle of the yard. Ribby stared with amazement. "Did you ever see the like? So there really was a patty pan, but my patty pans are all in the kitchen cupboard." "Well, I ever did. Next time I give a party, I will invite Cousin Tabitha Twitchit." The end.